Hi, Mark Preston Middleton, owner of Virtual Success, a technology-based company. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about why the IDSG model that I've talked about throughout my other videos is so important to the success of your business. So we're going to kind of just focus real quick on the model, some of the elements to the model, and some of the things that need to be considered and things you need to think about when you're starting your business or implementing a new service or even creating a new line of products. So here's what we're going to talk about. Everything out here in the business world normally has some kind of methodology. If you're a large company and you have projects, well, what's the first thing you probably do? You hire yourself a program manager. Why do you do that? Because the program manager is going to have the discipline, the methodology, the experience, the training that's going to not waste your money. That's going to help get you from point A to point B to point C. And then on the other hand is, okay, it's going to be a technical project. Well, what are you going to do? You're probably going to hire you a technical engineer. Why? Because they come with the engineering principles, disciplines, and methodology that will mesh very well with a project manager. Now, what I'm trying to do for the industry is to say that you can still have that same core methodology, principles, and criteria to apply to your own business. It does not have to be that you have to go out and get a program manager and a technical guy and an analyst and all these different people to accomplish the task at hand. But you do have to look at and consider how are you going to identify your goals, determine, let me just write them up here, support, and grow. Now I can understand if you're a Fortune 500 or bigger company and you have the program management, you have the resources and the staff with. But then sometimes you could look at that and say, you know what, let me ask my program manager, do they have these kind of core values that they work off of? A lot of them have something similar to this, some of them may not. But for even small business, just as a agent out in the real estate field, or the plumbing company, or the landscaping company, you can still apply these same values, these same disciplines, and get the same results as the big companies, and not spend a fortune or anything. So I just stepped through just a couple of them. Identify, of course, your goals, your objectives. What do you want people to think about when they see your brand? You know, that's one of the core things you have to think about, because if I said, hey, you know, let's go get a hamburger, what's the first thing probably pops in your mind? McDonald's, more than likely. If I say, let's do social networking, what's the first thing that pops in your mind? Probably Facebook. So branding is very important, and that comes along with your goals and your objectives, and what are you trying to get these consumers to know about your business, and what are you trying to sell them, and how is it going to emotionally move those people? You know, what's the benefits that you're offering these people, and how are you going to present it? That's what identify is. It's a big principle, but once you identify this, and it can work for branding, and you can sort all this out. You can say, I'm going to work on branding, but I'm going to use this model. I'm going to work on social networking, but I'm going to use this model. I'm going to work on search engine optimization, but you need to still use this model. I can't stress that enough, because you're still going to determine your solution. You're going to determine what the technology looks like. You're going to look at processes that have to be in place. You know, you can't just expect to put on a new product line or a new service and just expect your employees to miraculously know how to go and operate this thing successfully. So you have to look at your processes, you have to look at your procedures. You know, it depends on what environment you're in. You know, maybe you have to have additional licensing for stuff. You know, maybe you've got to look at copyright issues, trademark issues. all these different things. And then you need the tools to get the job done. You know, if you implement a new product line, well, first you're going to want to know how to manage your inventory, how you going to manage the customers when you sell your products to them, how you going to retain those customers, and how you going to farm and cultivate those initial sales, because you want to resell these people all along. You know, when new products come out, you want to go out and hit these people immediately. So things like that have to come out of the determining phase. And of course, support is just what it is. Who's going to do this? Are you a one-man show? Some people try to run their whole business by themselves, which is fine. But you have to be realistic about it. You're only going to get so far on this little, on this mountain here, you know, because you just can't do it all. Your days only go so far. You know, you can stay up to midnight, work all night if you want to, but you're only going to grow so far. So you really need to be realistic about this when you start looking at if you want to rebrand your company, or if you want to brand your company, you need to make sure you got the right people in place, or the right third-party person that's going to help brand this and help come up with the ideas. I mean, maybe you're not the best graphics designer. Maybe you don't even have a computer, you know, or whatnot. I hope you have a computer because you're watching the video. But you can see where I'm going with this. You know, you don't necessarily have to do it all yourself. You can outsource it. You can do all that kind of stuff. So you got to figure out who's going to support this and how you're going to sustain this. And then you got to look at how you're going to grow the solution, the goals that you just come up with. How are you going to grow that? What does that 10,000-foot view look like? I know we use that word a lot, and it's more of a cliche sometimes in the technology world, but it's really and truly a viable thing that you need to consider. And I use this little example here as my mountain. Here's the top, which here's your goals at the top of this mountain. You have to figure out what the ladder and stuff like that looks like to get you here, which results back into what's my plan of action. You know, how am I going to get from point A to point B to point C to point D to the top of my mountain? How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that by the day? How am I going to do that by the week? How do I do that in a month? How do I do that in a year? How to do that in 2 years? You know, if I ask you right now, what are you going to be doing next month? A lot of people are probably going to turn around and say, probably what I'm doing today. And I'm going to say, well, did you grow any within that month? And you're probably going to say, well, I think I picked up maybe a couple more sales, maybe a couple more people. You think you did, or do you have the hard facts that says, here's my report that says, yes, we are successfully making progress on what my goal is. Okay? That's the key. That's what's so important about this plan of action. It also takes all of these different steps and processes and procedures, and it starts cooking them in to your day-to-day, month-to-month, your week-to-week, your business talks, your meetings that you go to. It all starts coming into one seamless little thing, where everything flows to one point. And when that happens, you are able to quickly measure the markets, implement new products, strategies, solutions, because your infrastructure is in place. You already have a methodology to do this. So you know how to get results. And I will close this with saying, as usual, results is what I'm about. Results is virtual success. Integrity, results equals success. If we can't get results, we don't want to be in business. And we're definitely not here to convolute the situation or waste your time, resources, or anything of that fashion. But we do know that this is very important. I've used it time and time again on complex projects, some that were hundreds of millions of dollars in development efforts, and this type of methodology works for every situation. If you don't believe me, just go ahead and try that yourself. Just use brand and tell me, just say you're going to create a new brand and then use those 4 things and then respond back to me and let me know how that worked out for you. As always, we look forward to working with you in the near future. We hope that you enjoyed this video. Plan to post more as we go along here, and hopefully build some inspiration as we help you obtain the results that you deserve for your business. Thank you so much.